radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's still complaining. Welcome to the Tom Complains All Day show. It's too hot. It's too cold. It's never just right for Tom. Never just right. And so he's complaining, and by the way, we hear you're complaining, and so we're going to talk about all the complaining that's going on and money, because this is talking real money and with a side of kvetching. I was going to say another word, but I didn't. I'm Don McDonald. That is Tom Cock, and you are those people out there who listen, and we like that you're those people. We're glad you're there. Today, we're going to bring up a topic that really should be done. Should have been done a long time ago. We shouldn't have to bring this up again, but we keep having to bring it up because, well, you tend to get a little emotional about this, about a lot of things.
Yeah, well, a lot of things, especially money. And this keeps coming up for the reason is because I see people making tragic errors, and I mean tragic financial errors, because Social Security, okay, and we could talk about tragic. What's going to happen.
Tragic is a very severe
I know it
word.
is, but I'll tell you why.
Okay.
More than half of the population's main source of income in retirement is Social Security. So if you claim early, the consequences can be tragic, because remember, the benefit is the benefit is the benefit, basically. Oh, by the way, next year it appears you're going to get a huge 2.7% increase. Does that sound like you're keeping up with inflation? That doesn't sound like it to me.
I'll take whatever I can get.
I get it. But so that's why I'm bringing it up. I see this over and over. You're right. Emotion plays a role. But these are just things I've heard in the last week.
I mean, it's all emotion, really. Yep. But go ahead. What are the things
in the last
you're hearing?
week? Here's what I've heard. The reasons why people are met with a woman last week, 63 years old, taking my Social Security now. Don't argue with me. Why are you taking it now? Because it's going to run out of money. I don't want to get my money now.
That's emotional.
But is that correct? Is it going to run out of money?
No, it's not going to run out. But if we don't do something in the next few years to fix it, to fix the funding of Social Security, then there won't be enough money coming in to pay the full benefits to everybody who's supposed to get full benefits. Because
the next few years... Isn't it really 8 years before the trust runs out of
33? Is it 30?
That sounds like 8 years to me. So when you even say the next few years, that people, I got to get on this because the next few years, Tom McDonald's going to run out of money.
I'm hoping I'm not dead, though, by 8.
Yeah, me either, but one number.
But, you know, okay, on that score, I'm going to get political again. Okay, what in the world is wrong with our Congress? The fix is so easy. It's just easy. Don't let me out of Social Security at $140,000 of income.
160 now or something,
whatever the number
cap.
is.
Yeah, the cap.
Don't cap it. Just pay it all the way.
I'm happy to continue paying my 7% or whatever it is.
It's done then.
Yeah, I agree. But
it's fixed.
You mentioned the year 2033.
Yeah.
My take is that means it'll come up in Congress 2032 or 2033, something like that. They take them forever. They will not make a decision until they absolutely have to, because I think you just mentioned the word political.
Kicking the can down the road.
Okay, so
that's one argument that's kind of spurious.
And that's not a good argument. Yeah,
no, that's not a good argument. Not a good argument.
Number two.
Yeah.
I find this so fascinating. People are so sure because they overheard it from a relative or the person in the next cubicle, or they read it once somewhere, that taking it now, the numbers still work. I still end up with more money if I live 20, 25 years. And you can argue with them until you're blue in. You say, I try to be gentle and say, well, that's really not what the numbers show. You end up with less money. And by the way, on top of that, if you're married and you're the higher earner and you expect that other person in your life to live longer, as I do, you really cost yourself then, because remember, one person's going to inherit that larger benefit, and that's all they're going to get. So let's just discuss this again, because we have many times, you're right, and we have at retire meet, et cetera, et cetera. Generally, from the moment you take the money, you got to live 10 years for the waiting to work. In other words, if you wait till 70, if I have to wait till 70 and I die at 75, it will have been a bad decision. However, my spouse will still inherit that. And so as a couple, we probably still end up ahead. But waiting, you get the 8% a year increase, basically. Is there anything else that kind of gives you the guaranteed 8? Not that I know of. Nobody brought that program to me.
I have run the numbers a variety of different ways. And the break-even point, if you expect to live beyond 83, then waiting makes sense, financial sense. If you're darn sure you're going to die by 82, then taking it early makes sense.
Yeah, or you need the money, or you have family history that suggests you're not going to live a long time. I mean,
that's what I mean. You're pretty sure you're going to be dead by 82.
Total agreement. Yeah. Total agreement. It turns out, though, most people who even believe that end up living longer, right? And so let's give you some actual numbers, because I actually ran these recently. So I'm going to go public here and admit that in a few months, I will be 68 years old.
You've said this before. It's not public right now.
All right. Well, my benefit today, I could go get my money today if I wanted. Well, and I could get $49,584 a year. It ain't bad. That's, pretty decent paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if I wait those 2 years, my payout will be $58,092 a year. That's a difference, I believe, correct me
almost
if I'm wrong.
$10,000.
Yeah, it's $85. It's $709 a month.
Mm-hmm.
A month for the rest of my life, and then my spouse's life. So
yeah, and by the way, that in your case particularly, you
just say it. I know what you're going to say. You may as well.
You're going to say in your case, it really truly makes sense to wait till 70 because you give her that larger benefit. When she kills you off in a few years.
Yeah. And I've made this joke before. I'm not supposed to, but she and her boyfriend have very expensive tastes. So,
right.
Yeah.
And she got you to move to a lake where it's really easy to get rid of the body.
It's true. Well, it's only 25 feet deep.
Does it matter how many people go down to the bottom?
Nobody. You can't see after about 6 feet anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, those are two of them. Number 3 is still my favorite. I don't care. I just want my money. It doesn't matter what the calculations show you.
Dude, talk about emotions.
I know.
That's an argument you
it's
can't have.
It's not an argument.
It's like, I don't care.
It's a declarative statement based on nothing other than I just want my money.
Well, then you automatically lose.
But I looked up a few other numbers because I was curious about this. It actually has gotten better since 1998. In 1998, the average claiming age of a male in this country was 63.8 years, which is tragic because that's before full retirement age. In 2023, that was a couple of years ago, it's up to 65.2, which is still before full retirement age, but that's a 1.4 year gain in 5 years. That's good. So the trend is your friend there, right? Things are getting better.
Well, people are getting smarter, you're saying.
You'd like to think so. But let's just assume right now that you're 63 or 64, right?
I wish.
And you're trying to figure this out. And you're doing it on your own. By the way, this is another reason I think basically anybody getting ready to retire should sit down with an advisor and run all the numbers on everything. So at least you have the actual numbers. But let's assume you're doing this yourself, running your own numbers, and you're saying, well, if I take the money now, I add, what did I just say, $50,000 a year to my income, it looks pretty good, et cetera, et cetera. If you decide not to do that, there's ways to get you from the moment you quit your job until full retirement age or 70. Number 1 would be, and we discussed this several times on the program, build a balanced portfolio and draw from that portfolio.
That's a great idea, except it's refuted by a point you made very early in the episode.
Which was?
And that was that half of people have nothing but Social Security when they retire. So what are the odds that those people are going to have a balanced fund to live off of?
That's fair. That's fair. However, if you are a couple years from retirement, couldn't you set aside like a certain amount in cash so you could make the payments on whatever you got to make the payments on for a few
I haven't
years?
been able to save my entire life in a 401k or IRA, but yeah, in the last 2 years before I retire, I'm gonna have like $50,000 a year that I can set aside to live on. Sure.
All right, I'm not looking too good here. Okay, then how about with the money you don't have, buying an immediate annuity? Then how does that sound?
Do they give those away these days?
You just go down. There's a place. You got to know where to go.
Get 'em.
That's all. Yeah.
I think that's called selling your soul to the devil. That you can work on that kind of deal or something. But again, this doesn't work it only works for the people who listen to our podcast.
Well,
they generally tend to have more money. Yeah.
Well, they have more money. It's self-selecting in a way, right? People that listen to us do have money. But just to give you, and this came from the Bipartisan Policy Center, I looked this up too. A person eligible for $2,000 monthly benefit at full retirement age of 67 would instead receive just $1,400 a month if they claim at age 62. That's a 30% permanent reduction.
Big reduction.
Permanent.
Yeah, here's really what this boils down to. It is the ability and the desire to work longer. All these other solutions work for a few.
Yeah, that's true.
They work for a few, but they don't work for the many.
But maybe you could even work part-time. Do something that provides an income. And by the way, could provide health care because you don't get Medicare till 65 anyway.
Okay.
I hate to be that guy because...
I'm the guy. I'm worse than you. I'm the guy who's saying... Don't retire at 63. Just
what are you going to do anyway,
don't.
Huh? How many days on the lake can you get?
That's the other thing. I seriously don't think we think enough about our life in retirement. I think we think that it's just going to be
permavacation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why for men the highest suicide rate is men in their 70s.
And another reason to wait is not just the money. It's the fact that what are you going to, if you retire at 62, that's 9 years extra time figuring out what to do with yourself every day.
God, that just sounds painful.
I know it does, doesn't it? But again, I'm not building bridges or digging ditches.
No, that's true.
Or working.
You don't have a very lengthy commute either, by the way.
Do I? Oh no, I don't have any commute. Yeah, okay,
it's like right there.
Yeah. I'm here.
At least I have that, but so I can complain there. Because apparently other people that work in this office
don't have that.
Lengthy.
That's only because you insist on actually going to the office. You're old school.
Yeah. So
you could phone it in.
That's at this point, phone it in.
But you like people seeing your new ties.
Yeah. Okay, but just to
you like even wearing ties.
I know. Just to close this off, to me.
Oh, good. Good. We couldn't close this off soon enough. That's
the difference here. Yeah. I think you said something about emotion at the beginning of all this. It's emotion versus planning. Because if you actually do planning, you realize, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. I'm making an emotional decision, whereas the actual numbers suggest that's a bad policy. That's the difference to me.
Good news is there is good news.
Oh, please.
In this, everything we've just said.
Yeah.
We don't ever have to retire because we will never get people to stop making emotional decisions.
Yeah, well,
all our financial problems would pretty much be solved if we would wring all of the emotion out of the financial planning and management process. If we could get the emotions out, we'd all be fine.
Yeah.
But because we're emotional critters, we won't.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
I agree. All right, let's go to some questions. We've been getting a lot of your questions. We'll try to get to them as fast as we can. Don's going to handle a few more. I may do another episode with Roxy, who's been very popular because we still have a lot sitting in the can. But let's try to get to a few of those now. Douglas writes us from Burnsville, Minnesota.
Okay.
I watched a few videos from these two KCIS investment advisors, KCIS. I feel they're among the slickest annuity sales people I've ever seen anywhere. Here's a link. They sent me a link, which I went and watched. The problem I have is while I feel like what they're saying is a load of BS, I don't have enough knowledge to understand why it might be as bad as it sounds. What they're advocating is something called hybrid pensions as a great solution.
What was the name of the company? KCIS
Investment Advisors.
IS. No wonder
Two
I couldn't
I's.
find it.
I'd appreciate if you take time to watch the video.
Kansas City Independent Insurance Solutions.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's an insurance mentioned in there. Explain exactly what you think they're trying to sell. Best as I can tell, it's in annuities, maybe life insurance. It'll either make you mad or laugh. Actually, in my case, it made me both because people are being misled here. This is a hybrid pension. This is just a combination of a couple of different annuities, right? Shorter and longer term. That's it. There's nothing more fancy about it than that, but they make it sound better. I never quite saw one of the things they mentioned was, here's your solution to having to pay tax on your required minimum distribution. Mm-hmm. Never quite saw the solution there to that, because the only solution I know of is to give the money away.
No. Here's what they're doing. I'm looking at their thing, and they're selling indexed annuities. They're selling fixed annuities. This is all annuities. It looks like
combo.
It's 100% annuities. Annuities every which way. Variable annuities, all kinds of annuities. And so they're getting you what they call tax-free income from some of it through borrowing or taking your principal.
Yeah.
And eventually you still have to pay taxes on whatever tiny little bit was earned. But this is insurance sales, pure and simple. It is absolutely high commissioned insurance sales. They are not an investment advisor. They are not registered with the SEC, and therefore they can pretty much lie with impunity.
And the videos are beautiful. I got to say, they're really nice. I like the two of them talking there. It's just...
You do.
Makes you feel warm all over. Really does.
I didn't watch their videos, but kidding. Boy, do they have a lot of them.
Yeah, they do have a lot of videos. They get together every week, talk about how you need this product. All right, moving on to Pleasanton, California. Siva writes us, hi, you recommend AVGE or DFAW for a global equity-focused ETF. Remember, those are two funds that do own the globe with a tilt to small and to value, etc. These ETFs, in my understanding, achieve diversification by using other ETFs from their own company. That's exactly right. They are an ETF
they're funds of
ETF.
funds.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I came across an ETF from Avantis called AVNM. AVNM, a fund which invests in a portfolio of other Avantis International ETFs like AVDE, AVI. What's your thought on using this single ETF to cover your international part of the portfolio?
Well, AVGE does that.
AVNM, I believe, is just the international.
It's just
portion.
The international. Yeah.
Right.
So
if you just want an international,
gives
a fund of funds. Yeah, right.
An international component gives you all those things with the U.S. So you get U.S. and international in one fund, which makes it a one-fund solution. Yeah. If you did this, then you would need to combine it with an all-U.S.
Which I don't know the ticker. I'd have to look it up for, but I'm sure they have one. By the way, he adds.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure they do. He adds, P.S. Tom is funny, but the announcer who makes the disclaimers after the podcast is funnier, which turns out the announcer after the podcast is Don's daughter. And it is quite funny. And I will be honest with you, sometimes when I listen, and I only listen to one podcast a week of ours, that's the Friday edition because it's Don, and I haven't heard it, so I love it. But I listen all the way through because I love that disclaimer. Whew. That should, what you say? That'll keep them happy, or that'll satisfy the lawyers, or whatever it is. It's good. So anyway, did you find
that is my daughter.
It is. She's a great announcer.
And she was supposed to get paid for it, and she forgot to submit a bill. She never submitted a bill.
Let me just put it this way: along the way, she's submitted several bills which have been paid. So I think
some by me.
Yes, I think by you. Yes, correct. Mm-hmm. So did you find a single Avantis? ETF
I didn't
just
look.
The U.S. market, they have to have one. But again, it depends, Steve, on how much work you want to do. Because if you just want one fund, you could own AVGE or DFAW. It has all those things in it.
AVUS.
There you go. Shockingly enough, AVUS. So you could own AVUS with 65% of the portfolio, and AVNM for 35%. That would give you basically the same.
50-50 or 50-50.
That would give you basically the same as
50.
AVGE.
You could actually make it what I consider to be smarter by going 50-50. But
and by the way, you look like a genius this year because developed markets now, after this recent run, developed international up almost 30% now year to date. So Don McDonald looking like the genius we all knew he was. Well done, sir. We got time for one more?
It's the podcast. We can pretty much do whatever the heck
waiting,
we want.
I'm always waiting
we have no time constraints.
I'm waiting for him to open the door and carry me out of here. I guess that's the key. James writes us from Cocoa Beach, Florida. Do they really have cocoa there? Because you're a Florida guy.
No, they do not have cocoa.
Okay.
I don't know why it's called Cocoa Beach.
I know. I'd like to go. Anything that's cocoa related, that sounds like me. I'm a long-time listener, first-time question. Thank you for that. Thanks for all you do, he says. At one time, I believe you said the Vanguard target date funds, being mutual funds, should be kept in a tax-deferred account and not in a taxable account. Remember, because Vanguard had the target date meltdown a few years ago in a taxable account, people ended up with big tax bills. I think it's still being settled, by the way. So yes, that's correct. If you can make it happen. Consequently, I have taken a look at the iShares ETF target date funds. However, I've always heard that any fund that isn't very large has a chance of being closed. Some shares of the iShares ETFs are less than $40 million in assets. What are your thoughts? In other words, could you buy the iShares ETF target date fund and have it closed down? I'd be surprised.
I'd be shocked because there's little or no cost to running it, no matter how small it is.
Basically, pretty much autopilot.
Yeah, once you've set the thing up, they run. Particularly something that's indexed. I mean, there's just nothing to do. Yeah, no, I don't see any risk. I really don't.
I would go ahead and buy that fund. And yeah, if I had an option, I'd only own target date funds in my qualified accounts.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's true. Yeah.
Why is Cocoa, Florida called Cocoa in Cocoa Beach, Florida?
Beach. Because somebody
Cocoa
came
is
ashore
right
and
next door to
found-
Cocoa Beach.
Okay, somebody found chocolate there?
There are three possible reasons for the name Cocoa.
I'm glad we're doing this.
One is that a ship captain reportedly suggested cocoa for its association with the cocoa plant, even though cocoa trees do not grow in Florida. That just sounds weird. Another one suggests that an elderly woman who was living along the Indian River, which is the intercoastal.
Yeah.
She would serve hot cocoa to sailors, and as the sailors passed her house, they would call out, "Cocoa, cocoa," and that
I'm going to go with A so far.
Wait,
but
there's C.
Yeah, which is
before the town was officially founded. They would bring mail by boat, and they would deposit it in an empty tin, a metal tin by the waterside that was labeled. That was an old cocoa tin, Baker's Cocoa.
Yeah.
It was nailed to a post by the river, and so they called it. They were bringing the mail to Cocoa.
I'm going to have to go with C now.
I think C is it. I
makes the most
like
sense.
C the best.
The sailors yelling at the woman. Could kind of believe that.
Cocoa trees don't grow here, so that Captain May, why would he suggest it? Because that just makes no sense.
Yeah. Or maybe the heat of Florida made him delusional.
So that could do it too. I feel like I am right now.
I don't step out the door there till about mid-October. But anyway, thank you for that. That's an important lesson that we all needed to know.
We try to be helpful on various fronts here on Talking Real Money.
Exactly. Now you're all covered there. And I've got some useless World War II facts if you'd like.
No.
Why spoil it now?
This mixes it up a little bit. We do enough World War II on the show, thanks to you.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
All right, we're done. We're leaving. We're out of here.
Goodness.
Thanks for listening. We really, truly appreciate you being a part of the program. We hope you'll tell people about us. And if you have questions, send them in at talkingrealmoney.com on the contact form, or call us on Saturdays between 3 and 5 Eastern at 855-935-TALK. You can also, honestly, meet with one of our advisors at Apello Wealth for free.
You can meet with them honestly, or you can meet with them dishonestly if you prefer.
No, meet with them honestly.
Okay.
We don't offer the
whole thing
dishonest
up.
option.
Okay.
That would be some of the insurance people.
Oh, I see. Now I was talking about them, not us.
Go to talkingrealmoney.com and click on the button that says, let's see if Tom remembers.
Meet an advisor.
Ooh, we got it right this time. Thanks for being here as we do this thing that we do like 5 days a week. What's it called?
This is still Talking Real Money.
He did it.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions.
Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy.
Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appella Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor.
Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services.
Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. I think I need a nap.